So why is Ben calling it off with J-Lo? We've got all the possible reasons why this couple is on the outs. So if you didn't know, it's been kind of big in the news. Jennifer recently launched her album and a lot of other things. This Is Me Now. This was like a self-financed $20 million multimedia campaign. And then she also launched the big film, This Is Me Now, a love story. You sense this? Yeah, it's about the rekindling of the romance with Ben. No pressure. And then you've also got the documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. Well, until it was told. What was it about? The making of the record and the film. There was also supposed to be a tour, but So when Ben popped up in the documentary, it was to express concern because he didn't want his private love story being used for something he didn't want. Turns out the documentary was named after a scrapbook that he gifted Jennifer for Christmas in 2021, and it had every letter and email they'd written to each other over the last 20 years. I can see why he wanted that private. Jennifer was like, oh no. She showed the book to her producers and songwriters on the first day of making this album, without asking or telling Ben. She's like, it was our Bible, we just left it in the studio. This precious thing filled with 20 years of memories that somebody else wanted private. Yeah, this is all mentioned within the first 5 minutes of the documentary, and right out of the gate, Ben is not shy about his discomfort. He is shocked that Jennifer would share something so personal with her collaborators and now with the world. Yes, art does come from making something personal, but when you're making somebody else intentionally uncomfortable with your art and kind of violating consent, it's not a good move. So J-Lo did recently announce that she was canceling the tour attached to this whole media run, and that's yet another red flag pointing to a divorce. So while rumors about this relationship have continued to circulate on social media, a source close to J-Lo set the record straight about one item making news: the couple quietly selling their $61 million Beverly Hills mansion. This property has like 12 bedrooms, 24 washrooms, a 12-car garage, sports complex, I could go on and on and on. Thank you Wall Street Journal for all that information. So this place, which the couple moved into about a year ago now, apparently just isn't the right long-term fit for either of them. This is once again from that source. Apparently Ben never liked the house. It's too far away from his kids. Whereas J-Lo was like, oh, it's too big for her. It's too big for the diva. Okie dokie, once again, red flag. So even before the news about selling their home, everybody knew Ben and her weren't exactly living together anymore. And that little tidbit of news was confirmed by so many sources and so many outlets. For starters, TMZ reported on May 16 that Ben was staying at a Brentwood home all by himself. I get wanting space to focus when you're on a job, and he is currently working on a movie, but the timing, little sketch. Now that was confirmed by US Weekly later that same day. Then on May 19th, an Entertainment Tonight source claimed they've been staying in separate homes and the tension has been high. The mother of two was seen house hunting in Beverly Hills without Ben, instead with some gal pals. And if you've been through a breakup, you know you need your friends for support, because apparently he's just focusing on his work and his kids. So he's moved out and they're gonna have to sell that home. Yeah, well, it's up for sale. Look, it's only been a year. Like, I get I've already said this, but it's just, talk about a house flip. So fans were very quick to point out the pair have been spending a lot of time apart lately. They've been attending a lot of events without each other, other than stuff for the kids, which I get wanting to stay together for the kids. For starters, J-Lo was seen in a casual sporty look when she was showing up for rehearsal in LA, and I get it, he might not have accompanied her to rehearsal, but it was like, little weird. Okay, here's one thing. She was solo for her co-chairing duties at the Met Gala, the big fashion event of the year. Everybody was shocked that Ben wasn't there. Now yes, he was busy with work, but like, he appeared at the roast of Tom Brady May 5th, the night before, which kind of cancels out the too busy for the Met Gala excuse that he was playing with. During one recent outing together, when the pair was out together, it was kind of strained. Neither of them were cracking a smile when they were grabbing lunch. They've also appeared tense during previous outings. Let's see, they went to St. Bart's. That was a heated discussion. Cameras caught them, they were fighting. Just months before that, in September, which is last year folks, we're going pretty close here, Jennifer was seen looking very tense as she sat in the passenger seat of a car alongside Ben as they drove around LA. And they also raised eyebrows when they were seen attending the premiere of The Mother together. Now this was J-Lo's movie. So they were posing on the red carpet, you know, everybody's going like, okay, picture, picture, smile, smile. Well, Jennifer had a frown on her face and she was gesturing towards Ben and he looked angry. Yes, there was a lip reader that did clarify that it wasn't an argument, but it looked like one. So after they were snapped having their very tense conversation, they soon reverted to Hollywood mode. They had the big grins, they had the little kisses. It was just like, So what did the lip reader confirm? Well, J-Lo asked Ben if her low-cut top was showing too much. And he's like, no, it looks fine, honey, which, doesn't sound cute. Now later when they got their posing and they were all cutesy, he was like, oh, don't worry, babe. And it's like, okay, what are we worrying about? Now Jennifer seemingly responded by saying, come close to me, which, like, if you've gotta guide yourselves together, not good. So J-Lo actually has a habit of being a bit of a diva, like a big one. Whereas Ben is not exactly a diva himself, which might be a cause for a split. You wanna know how big of a diva JLo's been? Once, she had somebody fired for being a fan. Now this was a maid in a hotel room. She was just cleaning. This was in Germany during JLo's 2012 World Tour, and she was a big fan. Her name was Prey, by the way, and she tried to ask JLo for an autograph, and then two of JLo's assistants stopped her. Soon after, Prey was out of a job. Yeah, the cleaning company that employed her called her and said, Ms. Lopez complained, and she was fired over the phone because of asking for an autograph. Now, JLo denied the claims with a tweet being like, come on, thought you knew me better than this. Would never get anyone fired over an autograph. First I heard of this was on Twitter. Well, if that isn't enough to prove JLo's behavior, we've got more. There was an old interview from like ages ago, and she wasn't speaking too well about all of her colleagues in the industry. Now, for context, JLo is a multi-hyphenate. She's a dancer, she's a singer, she's an actress. Well, way back in the day, she had this to say about Gwyneth Paltrow. She was like, tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. JLo even had stuff to say about Madonna, being like, do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm hard around people when they say, oh, I can do that. I can act. I'm like, honey, don't spit on my craft. Well, when JLo said this, she'd only done Selena and Anaconda in terms of acting roles, which like, not something to be bragging about. Personally, don't think she's a strong actress. According to a lot of JLo's former staff members, she's earned the nickname Pay Low because she paid her staff about 50% less than they could find elsewhere. And this has been going on for years. If we're talking like 2003, back around the first time JLo was with Ben, so they had a big win and Ben was like, okay, here's a $2,000 tip to the dealer. But before the dealer could actually grab the reward, JLo snatched it up and dropped $200. And what's her reasoning for paying everybody so little? She's like, well, I had to work hard for my money, so should everybody else. Like, it's just so embarrassing. Like, if she had to work hard, shouldn't she try to make it easier for others since she knows how hard it is? Because like, it just gets worse over the years. One more story on this. In 2012, reports surfaced that JLo demanded that staff working for her don't make any eye contact with me. Don't speak to me. This was while she was having work done on her San Fernando Valley home, and she demanded that none of the helpers, none of the drivers, the contractors, nobody interact with her. And also, when she's flying first class, don't bother her. Even if you're a flight attendant just trying to do your job. Apparently there was one time where a flight attendant offered her a drink and she just like did not acknowledge him. She said to her assistant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime, which like, so rude. So her relationships have always been in the spotlight. She's been in like, I don't know, several high profile relationships that have made headlines. From 2004 to 2011, she was married to Mark Anthony. They had those twins. And then in 2017, she was with former New York Yankee Alex Rodriguez. Now, here's where the diva control issues come into play. Apparently she would only consider marrying A-Rod if he agreed to a list of demands. So he couldn't talk to anybody under the age of 40, any woman under the age of 40, which gross. And also, she wanted a guarantee that he won't let himself go once they get married. So we know that marriage didn't work out because she's now, well, maybe married to Ben, but what rules did he have to agree to keep her happy? So Ben was actually recently spotted out on an outing with former wife Jennifer Garner. They were seen earlier this week talking together. Jennifer Garner appeared relaxed and casual. So like, is he still pining for his ex? Or is he looking for advice on how to break things off with JLo? So with Ben and JLo constantly working on their own separate projects, time and distance can be making the heart grow colder instead of fonder. According to insiders, JLo was reportedly throwing herself into work, which has always been an outlet for her to stay busy and distracted. So yeah, she has been busy with a lot of press tours for Atlas and The Greatest Love Story, so it seems like she's coping with marital issues by focusing on her career. Ben feels like she has a hard time feeling satisfied, and that's one of the many issues they're facing. He's also one of the only people who feels comfortable enough to be honest and real with her. It's part of why she loves him, but also why she's upset with him. And finally for today, it seems like the duo are just regretting how rushed the marriage was. A lot of insiders have been non-stop dishing about what's been going on, and one source from Page 6 is a lot. So this was somebody connected to Ben, and they noted that if there was a way to divorce on grounds of temporary insanity, apparently he would. He feels like the last 2 years were a fever dream, and he's just come to his senses now and understands there is just no way this is going to work. Yikes! That's it for me once again, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident emo girly. See y'all next time.